Are you out of status or undocumented but married to a US citizen? The big question, can you still get a green card? The answer is maybe, but it depends on your history and how you entered the US. All right, so let's break it down because the difference between getting your green card and stuck outside the US is razor thin. I'm Shariq, the South Asian attorney. I'm licensed to practice law in the US and I help people worldwide with American immigration law. Marriage to a US citizen makes you an immediate relative. This means you can apply for a green card without waiting in line. But the process is a little different, depending on whether you entered the US legally and overstayed, or you entered without a visa or an inspection. Here are two most common paths. If you entered legally, even if your visa expired and you overstayed, you may be eligible to adjust your status right here in the US. That means no leaving the country, no consulate appointments, and no waivers required. You file Form I-130 and Form I-485 together and wait for the USCIS to process your green card. It's the fastest and the safest route, and often takes a year or two at the most. But what if you did enter without a visa and married a US citizen? Can you still apply for a green card? Yes. Absolutely. The only thing is that you're going to have to leave the US and go through an embassy or consulate in your country. But then can you re-enter the US? Yep, that's where waivers come in. Let's talk about them quickly. First up, the I-601A, also called the provisional waiver. It forgives your unlawful presence in the US. You file your I-130 application, wait for it to get approved, and then file this waiver. But you file it before you ever leave the US. You get the decision while you're still here. The big advantage? So you don't have to take that risk of leaving the US without knowing if you will be ever let back in. If it's approved, you leave the US and go to your embassy green card interview holding the waiver in hand. All right, so now the I-601. This is the traditional waiver. It's a little more old school and a lot more stressful. It's not just for unlawful presence though. It can also waive things like misrepresentation, certain criminal offenses, and more. Here's the hard part though. For this waiver, you'll need to wait outside the US, sometimes even over a year, while the USCIS processes your case. And there are no guarantees and no way to re-enter the US during this time. If you entered the US without a visa and you don't have any other issues, use the I-601A instead. Although with either waiver, you'll need to show that your US citizen spouse or parent would suffer extreme hardship if your green card is denied. So getting a green card through marriage is possible, even if you're out of status or you entered without inspection. But the path you take makes all the difference in the world. Whether you're adjusting status here in the US or filing a waiver and doing consular processing, the key is to know your options and plan ahead. All right, so does it sound like a lot? Well, in the words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it's done.